Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamatsyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om, everybody. We were last time we studied from verse 9 onwards. Before that we saw the prakriya, the methodology of Bhagwan's birth, and then Bhagwan and the purpose of his birth also we saw, and then Bhagwan went to say that my janma, my birth and my karmas are both divine, they are divya. And if you come to know this in essence, then you also will go beyond the cycle of birth and death. So why are Bhagwan's birth and karmas divya? The birth is divya, divine, because it is not a forced birth. It is a birth out of free will. And secondly, because it is Maya Rupam. Maya Rupam means even though he's infinite and unborn, he appears to be born. He is changeless, but he appears to be changing, growing. He was a baby, then he grew, etc., etc. Even though he's not conditioned by space, he appears to be at one place. Like for Arjun, he appears to be standing in the chariot there, but he is everywhere. And because of this, his birth, these two reasons, his birth is divine. His actions are only for dharma samsthapana and paritranaya sadhunam. Now, dharma samsthapana he does by creating a balance between good and evil in the objective world, by destroying the evil people, by physically destroying them. When there is an imbalance between good and bad, that's when he takes birth to restore that balance. Good can never go to zero and evil can never go to zero either. We have to remember that, but there has to be some sort of a balance. When that balance it's not balanced, good and evil is getting more and more powerful, then Bhagwan has to come and do something. So the one way he does it is by objectively destroying the people, internally restoring the faith of the people in good. Because then what happens is when evil becomes stronger and stronger, then even the good people say, oh, I'm following all the rules and regulations, and these people are more prosperous than me. So that faith must not shake. And that's what Bhagwan does. And paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam. So one is to save the good people, objectively save them by destroying the evil on the objective level, at the objective level, but subjectively to restore their faith. And vinashaya cha dushkrutam, again, yes, the bad people to be destroyed, but the bad thoughts to be destroyed as well. That is, both he achieves. And because that is the only purpose of his birth, his karmas are all divine as well. Now what he's saying is, yo veti tattvataha. One who knows he has qualified this knowing by tattvataha. That's why that word becomes the key word in this verse. Tat plus tvam, I told you, tattvataha means, in a sense, means once you have recognized the oneness. So for as far as at our level is concerned, the birth has already happened for us. We cannot go in the past and make our birth. So forget that, forget the birth part of it. The karmas is in the present, in the now, and that we can make divine. And to make that divine is not that we have to do any outside anything dharma, but even in our own mind, we must strengthen the faith that yes, I should follow a dharmic life. Even though it may not, externally, it may appear like I'm not succeeding in my job or, getting more prosperity, that faith must not shake for us. And karma to be converted into karma yoga, which will then lead to the knowledge. Okay. Tyaktva deham punarjanma neti. So we understand this principle, means once we realize the oneness between Jiva and Brahma, there will be no more birth for us. This is what he means here. Okay. And then he went on to say, how do I do this? How is this to be? How do I understand his birth and karmas to be divine? What is the sadhana? Sadhana is vita, raga, bhaya, krodha. That is where the beginning is. When this vigata for good, when raga, bhaya, and krodha. And here there was a question about attachment. I was thinking about that. So give up attachment. And yes, it's very easy to give up attachment to objects, inert objects. But what about people? And I was thinking about that. That was going through my mind. One bottom line difference between attachment and love is, if you have any kind of expectation from the person, see, from the object, inert object, our expectation is happiness. So that is why we can never have love for external objects. Because you are expecting happiness. Isn't there? If I want to buy something, am I going to say that I have no expectation at all? I'm just buying it for the sake of buying. No, I whatever it is, I think this is going to make me happy. That's why we say there cannot be love for chocolate. I love chocolates. No, because that chocolate is giving you pleasure. And then one day it will come when that you won't like, or you eat like 50 chocolates in one day, then that 50th chocolate is going to make you puke. Then their love is all going to fade away. That's why it's always there. But with people, expectation is the line, bottom line. If you have any expectation about that person, know that you are falling from love into attachment. So with love, there cannot be any expectation. That's why it becomes very difficult. That's why loving other people, because there is some expectation lurking in the mind. And then when that expectation is not fulfilled, some people we expect more, some people we expect less. But when that is not fulfilled, we get angry. That's when krodha comes in. Or the bhaya is there that, I'm so attached to this person, maybe this person might not return that love to me, or I might lose him. So that gives bhaya, fear. So the main culprit is raga, attachment. If that can be changed into love, there will be no fear. In love, there is no expectation. So there is no fear and there is no anger, because the expectation is not there. So if it doesn't get fulfilled, then how can there be anger? Because that expectation was not there in the first place. So in love cannot have expectation. That is unconditional love. That is the highest love. Extremely difficult. Not easy. So practice is the way. Okay, Premsai, you had asked that question. That's why I wanted to, because it rotates in my mind, especially when I'm walking. And I thought, oh yeah, this expectation is the key. When we give up this thing for good, we become manmaya. Manmaya, I told you, is adhyatmanita, in and through every. So anything that happens in our life, we see the hand of God in that. That is manmaya. Once you start seeing the hand of God in each and everything, you naturally surrender to him. Mam upashritaha. Mamusha follows. When you're seeing God everywhere, in good, in bad, in neutral, in ugly, in beautiful, in every single thing. I was walking in the lane just yesterday, and there was like all kinds of garbage. I don't know how it happened, but there was things which it was like, oh God, do I want to look at it? And then I remember, I said, no, that is also God. Even the worst garbage, you have to be able to see God, because the existence principle is there. So once you start seeing God in every experience, you become mam upashritaha. And all these three things together are jnana tapasa. That is the tapas of knowledge. Knowing, you get purified in that tapas. Tapas is meant for purification. And so when the knowledge comes that everything is being, God is there in everything, this Ishvara principle, and when you completely surrender, that surrender becomes a tapas. You know, to surrender ego is the greatest tapas. We cannot, it is very hard to surrender ego. Extremely difficult. Every time it will come up, I. So that if it is done, that becomes jnana tapasa, surrendering of the ego. So when you remain unaffected by whatever is happening at the level of the body, at the level of the mind, and at the level of the intellect, body, if body becomes diseased, you have to understand that that is the nature of the body. So you can't expect a healthy body throughout your life. Something or the other will keep up, because that is its nature. Shiryate iti shari, that which decays is body. That is the definition of body. So of course the body is going to go that way. Mind is going to experience shoka moha, sorrow and delusion. That is the nature of the mind. If you understand these natures, and also if you understand that you are not them, you're not the body, neither the mind nor the intellect, that becomes the tapas of jnana tapas. And in that tapas, you get purified. Okay. And then mad bhava magataha. This person then comes to my bhava, comes to my being, comes to me. This is what this is the entire sadhana for a spiritual seeker, starting with vitaraga bhaya krodha. Okay. Now the question arises, if everybody has to come to you, why don't you only, give moksha? Even before that, he says, there are people, ye yatha mam prapadyante. These people approach me in various ways. They worship me in various ways. Even the approach, there is approach with respect to relationship, and then there is approach with relationship to what I want from God. So if you take Draupadi, she was like a sister. She treated him like a brother. Arjun like a friend, and later on he became a disciple. Gajendra was a devotee. He called out to Lord. Kausa, enmity. Shishupal, enmity. There was jealousy. Ravana was enemy. So they approached whatever form a person, whatever relationship the person sets up with God, God sets up the same relationship with us. This is not Brahman we are not talking about. We're not talking about pure consciousness here. We're talking about Ishvara. So a personal deity. So if you say, oh Lord, you're my friend, then God will come as a friend. You're my brother, okay, then you're my sister. You're my son, then I'm your son. Like whatever relationship, you can set up any relationship. Then you ask Bhagwan for things, and Bhagwan says tathastu. So even so do I reward them. Reward means, okay, you ask for this, you are okay, whatever you ask for, I give you. And then, but my path do men tread all the way. The meaning is that whatever people are asking for, no matter what it is, they're asking for happiness. And therefore they are actually coming to me only because I am the only source of happiness. I am the only source of happiness. They don't know that. They think what we are doing here is that we are making God the means and the world the goal. Because I want the world means I want something in the world. And so now I'm praying to God to get the world. This has to be reversed. So what we actually have to do is we have to ask for God and make world the means. And the way we make the world the means is by karma yoga, by considering it to be a karma bhumi. That is how this will reverse. But this is what Bhagwan is saying. They come to me, and whatever they ask for, I give it to them. And then the question comes, why don't you just give them liberation? That is the ultimate goal. Just give everybody liberation, just liberate everybody. You can do it. Then Bhagwan now answers. That's where we were in verse 12. Kankshata karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devataha kshipram himanushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. They who long after success in actions in this world make sacrifices to the gods. Gods is in inverted commas, because success is quickly attained from action in this world of men. The key word here is the world of men. Manushe loke. When Bhagwan says Manushe loke or Manusha, means it applies only to human beings. This verse applies only to humans. It does not apply to animals. And the reason for that, I think in other parts, Bhagavan has said bhuta, different words he uses. So when he uses different words, then all animals are included. But here he has said, Kshipram hi manushe loke. In the second line, manushe loke means in the world of mortals, on this earth, applicable only to human beings. Because only human beings have a choice in action. Animals don't. Animals live on instinct alone. They do not have a choice saying, I'm getting weak, let me eat some extra protein. They don't have that sort of a choice. I'm becoming too fat. Cow doesn't say I'm becoming too fat, maybe I should lose some weight. They don't have that. We have that. As human beings, we have that intellect to decide. And in this intellect now, what humans are doing, he's saying, because he's saying, why are you not giving liberation? But he's saying people think. Kankshata karmanam siddhi. Siddhi here is just getting the rewards. Siddhi is not supernatural powers. Okay, that is not what siddhi is here. Kankshata, desiring. Ichha, there is ichha. There is desire in the mind of the people only, human beings only. Karmanam siddhim. I will work and that work will give me result. This is what is in the mind of the people, not animals. Animals do not work for results. We work for results. Yajanta iha devataha. Those gods they will worship. Means, you know what? I want money, I will worship Lakshmi. I want rain, I will worship Indra. I want whatever that I want, because we have got so many gods who are in charge of so many departments. So when I want strength, Hanumanji. When I want intellect, Saraswati ji. We were told in Sandipani, we have been given 12 verses that we are supposed to chant every day. They are in praise of Goddess Saraswati. They told us that you will be speaking. You need Saraswati. You better pray to Saraswati. So desiring whatever desires we have, could be sattvic, could be rajasic. Tamasic desire is not allowed. That they worship. That God they worship. Because they think that their karma is giving them result. That is what they think. I will work. This is what we think. Now, forget worshipping the gods. We are studying hard. We are, doing so many courses, so many, goal setting, this, that, whatever that we do at work, we think that. And then what happens? Kshipram, very soon, they get the result of action. What they are forgetting is the result of action is coming because of two things. One is, it is the law, like gravitational law. You throw something up in the air, it is going to come down. Whether you wish it or not, it will come down at some point in time, because that is the law. That way, karma, you do karma, the law is that the result will come. What result will come depends on what you have done in the past. Okay, because that result could be what you want, what you don't want, or something totally third, which you never expected. Anything can happen, but this is what this person is thinking. He is forgetting. People forget that these are the factors that karma is. That's why, Desar Raman Maharshi, Bhagwan Raman Maharshi says, karma kim param karma tajjadam karturadneya prapyate phalam. Kartuhu adneya. Kartuhu, the creator. By the order of the creator, adneya, is the result obtained. And what is now that there we must also understand, what does it mean? That means Ishwara is sitting there and he is saying, okay, now this person should get this and that. But no, he is not doing it out of his choice. He is looking at the past, because Ishwara is the one who knows the past, present, and future of all jivas. What has this person done in the past? And now what is he doing in the present? Now, based on the present and the past, that result is coming. This is forgotten. This part they don't know actually. Most of the people don't know this. They think I am working so hard. I have worked so hard and now I must get this result. And Kshiprami Manushe Loke Siddhir Bhavati Karmaja. They do get the Siddhi. They do get the result. Siddhi here is not supernatural powers. It is the result. They do get the result. But actually, who is giving out the result is me alone. And they think that this is what is going to give me happiness. Actually, for spiritual seekers, we should know this principle. That what principle we should know is that, yes, I must put in effort. I cannot say that certain things you can say, if it is meant for me, it will come to me. But if there is some goal in mind, I'm hungry. If lunch is my goal, I must at least start preparing something. Not that I just sit and suddenly lunch will fall out of the sky. So it's not like that. So we must do, but we must also remember at the same time that this is not the only thing which is determining the result. That part has to be remembered. So that's why we give the principles of karma yoga, that you do the karma that is assigned to you. You do your duty happily, and you just await the results. They will come. But these people don't know this. Okay, so that's why he's saying they long for success in actions, because there's too much rajas. And yeah, I'm doing work, so I should get a promotion. I am doing so much this, I should get this, I should get bonus, whatever result. I am the one that is giving, but we see this in Bhagavad, they were praying to Lord Indra for rain. They were doing yajna, Krishna's parents. That's when Krishna said, no, don't do. Because these devatas, then that is another factor. Then devatas are thinking, now, subjectively speaking, so this deva, one is the phenomenal powers, objectively, right? This is the objective meaning of this. These devatas are subjective, they are our senses. So to please the senses, I act. My eyes want to see a movie, so I will go buy a ticket and see a movie. My ears want to hear some good music, so I go for a nice concert. My nose wants some good fragrance, so I will go pick up a perfume. So these devatas, subjectively, they are our sense organs. We are constantly praying to them. Praying to them means what? We are feeding them. And then they bless us with the happiness, right? Because when my eyes want to see something nice, and then I go see nice, good color and form, I'm happy. I become happy. Subjective meaning. Okay. So these devata, that is how we keep feeding. We are feeding from the five senses, five type of perceptions. We are feeding them, these devata, and then they give us happiness and they become more powerful. This, when we say feeding, it's like now, yesterday the municipal elections have started, right? Advance voting. So the more people vote for that person, that party will become more powerful, right? When that party becomes into power, then whatever they have promised the people that this is what we'll do, they do for the people. It's exactly the same principle in this yajna. So when we are praying to the deity, the more people pray to one particular deity, that deity becomes that much stronger. Just like in this politics, the more votes a person gets, he's more powerful. He's saying, I've got 100 people behind me. So if you want my support, then you should do what I want you to do. Same thing with the devatas. Subjectively, we are feeding our sense organs, and they are making us happy. And then they are becoming more powerful. Because why? Because one desire is multiplying into more desires. They breed, the desires breed. Best example is you go for a movie and you see a preview of the next movie, that desire comes. Oh, that one I have to see. Or like a tissue box. You fulfill one desire, you pull one tissue out, the next one is standing there for you, waiting for you. So desires can never be fulfilled by fulfilling them. They have to be sublimated. They cannot, they should not be suppressed. They must be sublimation is when they are surrendered to some higher goal. And that higher goal has to be moksha. So I want permanent happiness. So let me let go of these small pleasures. That should be the thinking of a spiritual seeker. This one, Bhagavan says that they think that the action is giving. And this is only applicable for mortals, for human beings. These animals don't think like that. Okay. 13. Any questions so far? 13 is a very important verse. We have talked about this many, many times, but we shall revise that again. Chatur varnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha tasya kartaramapi mam vidya kartaram avyayam. The fourfold caste has been created by me according to the differentiation of guna and karma. Though I am the author thereof, know me as non-doer and immutable. So four varnas are there: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. And the very, very common misunderstanding among these is, in India especially, that they are rungs of a ladder. So the Brahmins are the topmost rung, and then below them are the Kshatriyas, then the Vaishyas, and most below them are the Shudras. That is absolutely incorrect. They first must be understood as four pillars which are supporting your ceiling in the house. So which of the pillars you're going to say is inferior? Northeast pillow is inferior and southwest pillow is superior. Can you say that? Or they are all equally important? So the correct thinking is all four are equally important. Now, let us see. People think by birth, this is by birth. It is not completely by birth. You have to understand that. By birth, everybody is a Shudra because they're uncultured. At birth, all of us are uncultured, only a baby. As we grow, this guna and karma vibhaga, the differentiation as per guna and karma. There are three gunas: sattva, rajas, and tamas, which we have talked about many times. But once again, we have to understand that very well here. So the three gunas, how do they dictate the temperament of a person? That is what this is all about. This caste word must be understood correctly. Okay. So when there is a predominance of sattva, I've also told you that none of these three can ever go to zero for anybody. Even for a realized master, there is some tamas, but extremely minute quantities. Only the percentage can be changed. When there is a predominance of sattva backed by rajas, and tamas is very low, that person is deemed as a brahmana. Whether he's born to Shudra parents or to whatever parents or whoever, anywhere. This is not in India. Even here we see these type of things. The next is Kshatriya. Kshatriya, where rajas is predominant, but it is backed by sattva, and tamas is again low. But the predominance is of rajas. That person is called a Kshatriya. Third one, rajas is predominant, but the next is tamas. It's backed by tamas, and sattva is very little. That person is deemed as a Vaishya. And the Shudra, the tamas is predominant, backed by rajas, and sattva is the lowest. That person is a Shudra. So this is how the classification is. Now, this is not by birth. What Bhagavan is saying, in the animal world, we have differentiated, right? Seeing on what the data is available, we say, oh, there are birds because they are flying, there are insects because they are crawling, there are animals because they're walking on four legs. So we did them into vertebrae and invertebrates and we have classified. They were already there, and we have classified them. That's what Bhagavan is saying. People are already under the influence of the gunas. Depending on which guna is predominant, I have classified them like that. So I see if a person is mainly sattvic, followed by rajas, and I classify him as a Brahman. It is not by birth. It is how we, now, because the gunas can be changed, we could be predominantly tamasic, we can come up to sattva. That is our saving grace. Animals don't have that choice. An animal who is considered tamasic, he will remain, the elephant is considered tamasic. He will remain tamasic till the end of his life. Horse is rajasic. Horse will remain rajasic. He doesn't think I should become a very sattvic horse. He cannot become a sattvic horse. Or cow is sattvic. Even if she wants to be tamasic, she can't be. She will remain sattvic. So that choice they don't have, but we do have the choice. Okay, so our job is to come to sattva and then stay there, and then just stay there, just be maximum sattva. Now, when you look at this thing in society, these divisions, why do we need these divisions? if you look at society in general, you need all these 4 types of people. Forget the word Brahmin. Use the word visionary. One who is a visionary, who can predict, like think in the future. Those are the scientists, who thought that we could go to the moon. Right? Nobody knew. Then there were some people who said, yes, it is possible. That becomes a Brahmin. The one who even imagines the future, like this is possible to be done. This, or now we have these electric cars. There was all gas cars. Nobody knew. Then this came up with hybrid. Now they've come up with fully electric. Now every car is becoming, now truck, buses, everything is going electric, right? The one who first thought of this, that this motor can run on electricity, he becomes a visionary, he or she, anybody. So that is the sattva. Then you need administrators. In society, you need administrators. Otherwise, who's going to administer all that, right? So administration has to be there. In the society, also resources, economics has to be there. Those are the Vaishyas. And finally, the work has to be done. Those are the Shudras. They will, Shudra mentality is, you tell me what to do and I'll do. Shudras, their mentality is not to like think, oh, this, they're like, you want this done? Okay, I will just get that done. That is this thing. In Purusha Sukta, those who are reading Purusha Sukta, Bhagavan, in the Virat Purusha, the face is said to be Brahmins, shoulders are Kshatriyas, thighs are Vaishyas, and feet are Shudras. Now, think. So face, suppose if I think I'm a Brahmin, I'm born in a Brahmin family, and I think I'm superior to that. Now, face is there, and the face, there's nothing else. If I think Kshatriyas are beneath me, who's going to carry the weight? Who is the thighs are the one that are maintaining, the body straight. How can you say that I don't need my thighs or they're less important? Okay, I have a vision. I want to do something. I want to go somewhere. I need the feet. I need my feet. Virat Purusha is described like that. Purusha Sukta, if you read, it says that Brahmanosya Mukhamasita. If you read, this thing. So that tells you that in our own body, this is Brahman, this is shoulders is Kshatriya, thigh is Vaishya, and feet are Shudra. Now, can we say that the Shudra is low? Can I say that feet, oh, what good are the feet? I won't be able to stand, I won't be able to walk. So in one person, individual, it is there. Now, I told you about the society. If you now take a company, how does a company run? At the top, the CEOs and all that, they are the visionaries. They envision where the company should be in the next 5 years. Then there are the administrators who are actually putting that into motion. That plan has to be, has to be worked out. You just have a plan and you just sit there. The plan is not going to come by itself. So we need the Kshatriyas to do that. Okay, to work out the plan, money is required. So where is the money going to come from? The Vaishyas are going to bring the money. They are going to do the fundraising or whatever, whichever way. And then the actual work has to be done. That has to be done by the Shudras. So in a company setting also, we have all these 4 types of people. In the house, individually, we ourselves at one point when we are, like for an ordinary householder, if I were to say, so when I budget my next month's expenses, or I plan a trip, so okay, so that's a Brahmin. Now this is what I want to do. This is where I would like to go. This is what. Then I have to look for a tour company. That is Kshatriya administrating, because yes, I want to go somewhere. Okay, and then I just sit there. That vision is there, but I just don't do anything about it. It's not going to manifest. So to manifest, I have to go on the computer. I have to find some tour company. I have to find somebody, people who will take me there, etc. Administration. Then I need the budget, money. So then I have to look at my finances. So I only become the Vaishya. I only am the Brahmana. I am only the Kshatriya. I am only Vaishya. Then all the work that is to be done, I am only Shudra. So all 4 we are always. always. At home, when I do cleaning, I'm a Shudra. If I'm doing banking, I become a Vaishya. Then administering some administration, or and then envisioning, okay, what I need this, so whatever. So in one person only, all four are there. That's why none of them is inferior, none of them is superior. All four are required. If I sit and say, okay, you tell me what to do and I'll do, but then who's going to tell you what to do? What is in your mind? As per that, you will have to do. So therefore, these four castes must be understood correctly. And caste is misunderstood as, I don't know, jati, is Shudra jati and all that. That's absolutely wrong. Jati means, in Sanskrit, it means species. So it's the human species, animal species, bird species, reptile species, plant species. So that is how it should be understood. Now here what he says is, so there is this guna. Now, as per the guna, I told you predominant sattva, that's how that karma will manifest. So the one who has a predominance in the previous, in Rama's age, where there were kings. So Sri Ram or Dashrath was the king, and then he had the guru. So the king was the Kshatriya, and the guru was the Brahmin. And that Brahmin never did anything, and he advised the king. That's why even in the beginning in this knowledge was given to the Kshatriyas. Why? Why was it given to the Kshatriyas? So that they understand the importance and they protect the Brahmins. The Brahmins needed protection. Suppose if you say, I'm a Brahmin and I'm superior, and forget the Kshatriyas, who's going to protect you? Who is going to protect you are the Kshatriyas. You need the Kshatriyas to protect you so you can teach your students. So that's what it was. And then the people who manage the money, treasurers, they are, as per their guna, the work will manifest. That's how the person will be comfortable in doing that work. So so this is in the previous. Now, as per the guna will manifest the karma. That's why Bhagavan says those who are, teachers, generally see, when there is a predominance of sattva, there is quietude, calmness, acceptance is there, faith is there. Now we are studying chapter 17 on Monday. So faith, we are talking about faith, right? And Bhagavan said that as per the mind is the faith. So if the mind is sattvic, predominantly sattvic, because cannot be 100% sattvic, but then the faith also will be predominantly sattvic. Predominantly rajasic, faith will be that way. Predominantly tamasic, faith will be that way. Right? So as per that, the karma will manifest. Therefore, Bhagavan says, so original is guna. First guna, then karma manifests. Guna is subjective, karma is outside, objective. So karma will manifest. So when somebody is very happy teaching, then know that there is more sattvic bent of mind. Somebody is, very much party going, extroverted, right? Every time I want to go out and party and, socialize and get invited for teas and invite other people, that's more rajas. So this is how this guna, and therefore Bhagavan says that even though all these people, I am unchanging, means what? Means I am beyond the gunas. What happens is these gunas change, they fluctuate as per we also fluctuate. So when tamas at night becomes overpowering, I just want to turn the lights off, I want to turn the TV off, and I want to go to sleep. When I wake up in the morning, when there is a lot of rajas, then I want to go for a jog or walk or whatever, then when there is rajas, then I want to do that. And when then there is sattva, then that time I want to read. I would prefer to sit quietly and do some reading, etc. So as per the guna manifests the karma. And then what I think is, I am the one that is doing it. Right? I'm the one that is reading. I'm the one that is sleeping. I'm the one that is... There Bhagavan says, Mam vidya akartaram avyayam. I am akartaram. I am not doing anything. The gunas are doing. This is what we saw in chapter 3. Action happens because of the interaction of the gunas. I don't do anything. That is how we should understand this now. that these differences in people are because of the gunas. So what happens is, when we apply this to other people, we can become a little bit more what should I say, lenient, like not so hard on them, because you see some people who are constantly extroverted, then you know that, okay, there is too much rajas in them, what to do? Like that, you will give them a longer rope. Like, "Ah, what is this? You know, but then now you know that it is the gunas and they can't help it. Unless they come into this knowledge and then see, there was a question in the other class, right? Monday class. Can this faith be changed? Yes, faith can be changed. Why? Because faith is based on mind. Mind is based on the gunas. Gunas can be changed, can definitely be changed. Please be aware of that. Don't ever think that, oh, I'm like that only and I will remain like that only. Otherwise, we would never have seen those who are addicted coming out of the addiction. We would never have seen that in the world. Now, how many people we see, they were on drugs, they were drinking, they were smoking. How many people are quitting? There are more people doing it, but still there are people who are quitting, right? That tells us that they have changed their guna. That is what tells us that. Okay. This is a very important verse. This must be understood correctly, not this thing. Yes.
In this part of the world, I don't know if there is any jati classification at all, because for my grandson, he won't even understand the jati per se, the word jati.
Correct.
Whereas in India, if I said jati, yes. So what is the best way to explain to the children who are in North American-based environment?
Okay. Yeah, I understand your question. And that's what we have to understand, that's why I said jati is not as per birth. What is the child manifesting? There is no need to use the word jati at all. Okay. See, some children, they are into fine arts, some into music, some into athlete, they want to become an athlete, right? So their karma, because karma is outside and you can see the karma, that will tell you the bent of their mind. Suppose if someone is doing bodybuilding all the time and wants to become some football player, soccer player, tennis player, know that he's a Kshatriya. Rajas is predominant there. Now, in that Rajas, then how the person is thinking, I want to become a very famous athlete, a good athlete, because I want more money. Then you know that the backing is of tamas. That Rajas is being backed by tamas. Then you know, because what is he thinking? Is he doing it only for money? Then you see, that's, so the karma has to be seen. What karma is he doing? And then some of them are this things. See, I know my cousin. He was a doctor. He's a general practitioner in India, and he had his practice. And when he started new, the specialists, they would tell him that refer your patients to me. Because see, there were many, the GP is there, he knows now this person needs this specialist, that specialist. So the specialist would tell him. Now what he did was, he said, I have no problem. I will refer my patients to you. But on that referral, if I write F, you have to treat that patient free. And he said, that determination I will do. If my patient cannot afford your services, but he needs that service, I will. But when there is a rich patient, you charge whatever you want to charge. That is up to you. You can charge, because in India, it depends on the doctor. There's no medical service. He said, you do. He said, if you agree to this, I will do. So they used to say, okay, fine. Because most of the patients could afford. So but he said, there will be some. So like my aunt had a servant. Now her son had to be treated for something. Then he said, now this has to be done free. His mother is my mother's servant. Now that has to be done free. So that sort of a balance if one can achieve. So you're doing it for money also, but then there are sometimes when you have to do it free. So in our children here, we have to see what, if you tell them Brahmin Chaitya, what is this? What nonsense is that? They will say. My own children, I don't have to have my grandchildren. My children will say, what are you talking, mom? What is this? But I know what they are, right? So what their bent is. Among my two children, my son is more sattvic. My daughter is rajasic. She's very rajasic. Because all her focus is on like getting a promotion, becoming a partner, then more money, then more shares, then more, that sort of thing is going on in her mind all the time, right? So it's rajas, extreme rajas. He is also working. My son is also working, but it's not like when you're working in every single thing that you do and the thought comes, what is in it for me? Then you become a Vaishya. It's rajas followed by tamas. Every single thing, if somebody gives some extra work on some day and you're like, yeah, that's fine, then it's rajas, but it's being backed by sattva. So that way you determine, because karma is seen, guna is presumed, inferred. Does that clarify? Okay. That's
Thank you. Thank you, Jayaji. Thank you.
Yeah, see how the child is behaving outside. And they will sort of, even if they plays, that's why as a little child, you put them in all sports, then they start dropping one by one. Oh, this I don't like, that I don't like. Then they stick to one, or then they don't do anything. Okay, theek hai, whatever. Yeah, sometimes they'll say, I want to drop everything. No, I know because Neil, everything he played when he was very little, he played football, he played soccer, he played everything. Now as he grew up, it was golf and tennis. Now he's dropped golf also. It's only tennis now. At this age, he plays only tennis. So all the other things he dropped. But in work, if co-workers ask him to come and play soccer, he knows the games, he knows the rules, so he will play. So that way. Yes, Neelam, you have a question? Neelam, you have raised your hand.
Sorry. Yeah, I was on a mute. I think Narayanji wanted to know, or I want to know about jatis. Like you are explaining us the tattva behind it, and which is good, which is understandable, tamas, rajasic, and sattvic. And then but our society is divided into different castes. So does that has anything to do in Gita? Has that found any place in Gita? Not at all. So okay. Like all these jatis and everything, they are something man-made. Not God has not done that. Okay. Good.
That's why in Gita, when the word jati is used, you must take it as species.
Okay.
You must take it as Manusha jati, Pashu jati, Pakshi jati.
Okay.
Plant jati.
Okay.
Plants. They're all jatis. Okay. Yeah. Not this. No. We should know, as spiritual seekers at least, we should know. Okay. Yeah. So everybody clear? Let's go to the next one. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spraha iti mamayo bhijanati karma bhirna sabadhyate. Actions do not taint me, nor have I any desire for the fruits of actions. He who knows me thus is not bound by his action. So Name karmani limpanti comes from the word lepa. Lepa is, you have some lotion. Now we have, we had sanitizer for 2 years. I mean, I think I've gotten used to sanitizer. Like it's become an involuntary action for me. I just my hand goes in my purse and 2 years, So, okay. So we had that hand, but there had to be hands now. For that sanitizer to stick, I can't put drops in the air. Something has to be there. So when Bhagwan says namam karmani limpanti, the actual karma is not touching us at all. Actual karma. But the subtle impression, that's what we learned in the 3rd chapter, this karma, to convert to karma yoga, we must, what this result is sticking to, what the vasana, how the vasana is being created is because of the doership, the ego. There, like I said, there has to be a hand for that sanitizer to be, rubbed on. That way, when there is doership and enjoyership, which is called as ego, when that ego is there, when that entity is there, the karma which is done with the notion, I am doing this and I will enjoy the result, that thing sticks to us in subtle form. When Bhagwan says, Namam karmani limpanti, he says, I have no doership at all, so that karma cannot touch me at all. Name karma phale spraha. Spraha word came in chapter 2. That it is not, spraha is not desire. It is the longing for that desire, longing for that object, longing for that person, for repetition of that. Something has given me pleasure, and now I long for that pleasure to be repeated. That becomes spraha. So Bhagwan says, I have no longing at all for any kind of pleasure or result, because result is meant for giving me pleasure. When I act, I have the doership. Oh, I want this result. So now I am going to do this and I want that result. And that I, which is there, which is the ego, to that is sticking the karma, not physically, in subtle form. So when the body is dropped and the jiva lives, that desire in subtle form also is traveling with that jiva. Therefore, there is no mukti, there is no moksha, there has to be another body. Bhagwan, by saying namam karmani limpanti, I have no doership, I have no enjoyership. Even in the 3rd chapter, he already said, I have no duties in the 3 worlds, and yet I act. So iti mam yo bhi janati, the one who knows me, like knows me once again, means what? Not just in, okay, now we know Bhagwan does it that way. That means I will get moksha. That is absolutely wrong. Means I have to do like what Bhagwan is doing. Here again, the tattvataha word also is here, is in not said, but in tattvataha, in essence, we have to understand. And when we understand, what understanding is when you do it. Otherwise, it is information, it is sitting in your mind. And then, yes, Bhagwan is doing it like that. Now I know Bhagwan is doing it. Now I will get freed from karma. No, I won't. So I know Bhagwan is doing it without doership. I also must do it without doership. I also must do every action without enjoyership. If I know this and if I do it, because most of us know that I should do, but I can't do it. It's difficult. That's why I say, iti mam yo bhi janati. Iti mam. This way, if the person knows me, that there is nothing which taints me, nothing can taint me, because there is no ego. There is nothing. You can't put sanitizer in the air. There is nothing. Where will you stick that sanitizer? You need something. So this is what he said, karma birna sabhadyate. The karma will not bind him. Once again, I have told you this, karma physically doesn't, there's nothing, no bondage physically, but the vasana layers go on increasing. And when we increase the vasana layers, then to exhaust those vasanas, we have to take birth. We need a body. That is what is called being bound to the cycle of birth and death. Because after this body, this jiva will go on looking for another abode, another body to exhaust the vasanas. Our body, our circumstances in life, all of this has been given to us to exhaust the vasanas that we have collected in the past. While exhausting these vasanas, our job is to not create more vasanas. The way we create more vasanas is because what happens is, because there is this vasana which has to be fructified, and suppose that vasana is going to give me happiness. So what happens is, I come across something which gives me pleasure. It could be a situation, it could be an object, it could be a person. Okay. The reason that any one of these 3 things is giving me pleasure is not because of them. This is another mistake that I make. I say, oh, this person came, so he made me so happy, he or she. It is not that he made you happy. You have done something in the past to enjoy that happiness. So now that person whom you like, who is, conducive to your thinking, liking, whatever, has come in your life, has given you pleasure. Now what I do is I say, I want more of this person or this situation or this object. Now that when I say I want more, I created another vasana for my future birth. So the point is, when these situations come, they give me either a happy experience or a sad experience, sorrow also. And I've given you the example. Person is driving a car, stopped at a red light. Somebody comes and hits that person from behind, and the person is now suffering whiplash for 2 years pain. And now I'm assigning the blame on that person who hit me. It's objectively, absolutely, it is his fault, his or her fault. But I'm going through the pain. What I should understand as a spiritual seeker is that this pain, I wrote it for myself because of my past karmas. I've written it. Now this person has become an instrument to give me that pain. So I forgive that person. I hope that same thing happens to you. This must never be said, because the minute you say that, you created a vasana for your future. So you say, okay, Lord, this has come to me because something. Of course, outside, you better go and tell that it is his fault. You better get paid from ICBC, everything you do outside. But within, you must not lay the blame on him. There is no need to give credit to anybody else for your happiness also. That also I'm telling you. There's nothing, oh, this person gave me happiness, this object gave me. No. You deserved that happiness because of something you've done in the past. That is the only way of fulfilling this namam karmani limpanti. That is the only way. You take full responsibility for both your joy and your sorrow. Take full responsibility, because there is nobody else that has done something that because of which we are getting joy. Neither are you getting sorrow because of that. You are getting it only because of your own actions. If you can keep this in mind, namam karmani limpanti will happen. That is knowing him. It is not just knowing that, oh, Bhagwan, the karma doesn't taint Bhagwan. It will not taint me also. That is how Bhagwan is functioning. So if I function like Bhagwan, it will not taint me also. Whatever it is meant, it is meant. Name karma phale spraha. So when the pleasure comes, then I want it more repeated. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, for sure. Sorrow, then I don't want it. See, for joy, I say I want more. Do I say for sorrow? It's okay if another person hits me. Do I say, I hope nobody ever hits me again? Don't I say that? So why both? You have to be same in both. The bhakta is like that. That is what bhakti does. So bhakta is like, if joy comes, he says, yeah, Bhagwan. If sorrow comes, Bhagwan, you only gave it to me. So everything he pushes on to Bhagwan. So then again, he fulfills namam karmani limpati, because he says, whatever is happening, Bhagwan is doing. What is it got to do with? But this is knowledge. Huh? Here it is knowledge. I'm just giving you the bhakti standpoint. After all this now, this chapter, next chapter, full knowledge it is. It is not. He's not gone into bhakti. He'll go into bhakti after chapter 7. But this is how it is to be understood. Iti mam yo bhi janati. So knowing is doing yourself. Do it yourself. It is possible. It is difficult, but it is possible, because if it was not possible, Bhagwan cannot give us the instruction. There's no way that Bhagwan is going to tell us something which is totally impossible to do. Okay, any questions? Yes, Prince.
Jayaji, when does a vasana sort of get created? Because I notice sometimes in the heat of the action or the situation, you have that initial reaction of, oh, this person hit me, I blame them. And then upon reflecting, maybe a couple of hours later, when the spiritual knowledge comes back in, and then you remember that, is that still, if we reacted in that situation in the moment, are we still creating vasanas? Or by reflecting on it in the moment, is there something that we're helping with that?
So you're saying that when the situation happened, you did react by either saying, okay, so when you reacted, yes, the vasana is created, unfortunately. So that is why we need this knowledge. We need to get established in this knowledge more and more and more. So at least it's see, previously we would react, we would never think of it at all. So now you're a step further, that at least after a few hours, oh God, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said it. Okay, which is great, which is fantastic. So now that you got this regret, for the next time, you must remember the regret. So next time, what should immediately, when you want to react, you should, you know what? Then later on, I'm going to have, so I better not do. And then you withdraw. So getting established in the knowledge will help you to come. That's why we say that as advanced spiritual seeker, when a sorrow hits, a realized master, when a sorrow hits, he remains absolutely steady. He doesn't shake. But as spiritual seekers, we shake. Okay, when sorrow hits. So how fast you come into balance determines how advanced you are in your studies. So you will shake. So that shaking will cause, the good part is it will cause maybe a weaker vasana, and weaker vasanas get exhausted in dream. So chances are that you will get burned. That's why when we dream, we feel afraid, we feel happy. Those are the weaker vasanas that are exhausting themselves. In that way, dream is good, but not like constant dreaming, but that way. So if you react in that moment and at least later on it comes to you, then make a note of that regret. And next time when the same situation comes, pull yourself back. That will also tell you how advanced you are in your spiritual studies. How can you control yourself immediately? That is what the realized masters do. They don't get affected only, so there is nothing. But advanced spiritual seekers, even though they, keep quiet. I want to react, but no. And keep in mind that when you react, you are falling. And the other person might think that he won. Okay, I insulted this person and this person didn't react. He might think he's a winner, but internally you should know that you are a winner because you've gotten over your vasana. In spirituality, you have gone up a notch. And that's what our attention should always be on. Purification of our own mind. Okay. All right. Before I go, next weekend is a long weekend, but I really would like to take this class. So if everybody is okay with it, there's no Bal Vihar next weekend because on 30th of October is again a Sunday and we will have to cancel this class because of AGM. So is it okay for everybody if I take a class next Sunday? Everybody's okay? Everybody's okay, right? Good. So next Sunday, there will be class, though the Bal Vihar is not there, but our class will be there, okay? All right. And Friday also there is a class, just those who are attending Friday class also has not been cancelled. And those who will be attending tomorrow's class, I'm telling you in advance, they do want the Monday class cancelled. So next Monday, you won't have a class, but Friday there will be the class and Sunday there will be the class. Okay. And Premsa, I had one more request. Vinita doesn't seem to know how to put my lectures on YouTube, Friday lectures. Is it possible that you can help her with that? Yeah, you have her, you will see her tomorrow. Because she said she did. So there are people, outside people are now asking me, have the lecture started? And I said they have, but I think they're not on YouTube as yet. So if you can just, she wants to learn. So if you can just teach her, then she'll take it from there. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, thanks.
JJ, there may have been a question. I think I saw Neelam's hand go up.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I was just talking about thinking about those vasanas, that those vasanas we get into these vasanas for man, vachan and karma, both, all three, right?
All three.
So maybe, so if a situation happens and if I'm not saying it with my vachana, but then if I'm thinking, then my man, so I'm still attracting somebody, something, some attachment to that.
Yes. Because there is mental actions, speech, vachik karma is there and physical karma is there. So all three will bind. Yes. If you go on thinking ill of other people, yes, it will. Or if you go on thinking, I want to become this, I want to become this, I want to become this, then that will create a vasana and you'll become that, whatever that you're thinking. So it does create. Narayanji, did you have a question?
Yes. I just wanted to say clarification. Is there a class tomorrow or no?
Tomorrow there is a class. Tomorrow,
Oh,
Monday
okay.
evening, there is a class. But
Thank you.
next Monday, I'm talking about next. So, but next Sunday, anyway, next Sunday there is class, no break. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
And tomorrow there is definitely a class. Thank you. Om swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaha go brahmanebhyo shvamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyaha prithvi sasya shalini desho yam kshobarahita brahmana santu nirbhayaha om sarvesham swasti bhavatu sarvesham shantir bhavatu sarvesham purnam bhavatu sarvesham mangalam bhavatu sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayaha सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ओम असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम. Hari Om everybody. I'll see you tomorrow, some of you.